Let's talk about something that hits close to home for so many Indian businesses. Is your website secretly a money pit? Today, we're diving into a massive issue, a problem that drains thousands of crores from businesses every single year. It's the classic story of a website that looks fantastic, but delivers absolutely nothing. We're going to break down exactly why this happens and, more importantly, give you a solid plan to fix it. So let me ask you a very direct question, especially if you're a business owner out there. Is your website an asset, something that's actively making you money? Or is it really just another expense on your balance sheet? If you're hesitating even for a second on that answer, trust me, you are not alone. Because the reality of the situation is pretty staggering. A full 7 out of 10 Indian businesses have websites that completely fail to turn visitors into actual customers. Now, this isn't some small, random issue. It's practically an epidemic that's holding back growth for companies all across the country. And the scale of this problem? It's just mind-blowing. The estimated loss for Indian SMEs every year from these underperforming websites is a massive 50,000 crore rupees. Just think about that number. That's a truly staggering amount of potential revenue that is just vanishing into thin air. So let's actually put a name to this 50,000 crore problem. This isn't just about a few businesses having bad luck. It's a specific, widespread issue we're calling India's conversion crisis. I bet this story sounds familiar. You invest a good chunk of money, maybe a lakh, maybe even more, for a slick, professional, beautiful-looking website. And it looks great. But then, a few months go by and the reality starts to sink in. You're getting hardly any inquiries. Your ad budget feels like it's just draining away, and you have absolutely zero results to show for all that investment. But this isn't just about feeling frustrated or having your ego bruised. Let's really dig into the real cost of this failure, because it's a tangible, significant drain on your bottom line. This right here shows the incredible potential that's just being left on the table. Check out this real case study of a manufacturing company in Pune. Before they optimized their site, they were bringing in about 5 lakhs a month. After they optimized, with the exact same amount of website traffic, their revenue jumped to 20 lakhs per month. That is a 4x increase without spending a single extra rupee on ads. So what was the difference? What is the single biggest reason most of these beautiful websites fail so badly? Well, it's this: the total absence of a strategic conversion pathway. There's simply no clear plan, no roadmap to guide a visitor from the moment they land on your site to the moment they actually take action. I love this analogy. Think about it this way. In a physical store, you would never, ever hide the checkout counter or forget to put up signs, right? That would be crazy. But that's exactly what most websites do. They basically create a confusing maze for potential customers and then wonder why nobody buys anything. Okay, so we know the core problem is that missing pathway. Now, let's break it down even further. Let's look at 5 specific, critical mistakes that are absolutely killing conversions for Indian businesses right now. All right, first up, and this one is huge: ignoring the mobile-first experience. In today's India, you have to understand that your mobile site isn't just some other version of your website. For the vast majority of your customers, it is your website. And treating it like an afterthought, that's a fatal error. I mean, the data is just undeniable. A whopping 72% of all website traffic in India comes from mobile devices. So if your site is a pain to use on a phone, with tiny buttons, endless scrolling, or slow loading times, you are actively pushing away almost 3/4 of your potential customers. It's that simple. Next up is having a weak call to action strategy, or what we call CTAs. Your website has to tell visitors exactly what you want them to do next. These vague, lazy buttons like learn more or submit, they just create confusion. And honestly, they don't inspire anyone to do anything. And the proof is right there in the results. For example, an education consultancy in Hyderabad changed their super generic Contact Us button to something highly specific that offered real value. Book your free USA admission counseling session. The result? Their inquiry rate nearly quadrupled. That's the power of going from a weak, generic CTA to a strong, specific one. The other critical mistakes are just as damaging. First, there's poor website architecture. That's kind of like a store with no aisles. It makes finding anything impossible. Then there's having zero focus on conversion rate optimization, or CRO. That's when you treat your site like a static brochure instead of a dynamic sales tool. And finally, technical SEO negligence, things like slow page speed, which makes your site basically invisible to search engines. All right, enough about all the problems. Let's shift gears and start talking about solutions. What does a high-converting, winning website actually look like? Let's break down its anatomy.
A winning homepage follows what I call the crucial 3-7-10 rule. Within the first 3 seconds, a visitor absolutely must see a clear headline and a call to action. By the 7-second mark, they have to understand your unique value. And by 10 seconds, they need to see a clear trust signal, like a customer testimonial or certification.
And speaking of trust, these are the signals that are really effective for Indian customers, who, let's be honest, are often cautious online. Things like real testimonials with photos, a physical address on Google Maps, and especially WhatsApp integration. They can make a massive difference in building credibility and getting people to reach out. We also have to talk about speed. And this isn't just a suggestion, it's a hard and fast rule. According to Google, over half, 53% of all mobile users will simply leave your website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Every single extra second you make them wait is literally costing you customers.
Okay, I know this might feel like a lot to take in, but fixing it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So in our final section, we're going to lay out a clear, actionable 30-day rescue plan that you can start using today.
The plan is actually pretty simple and manageable. In week 1, you just audit your site and identify the problems. In weeks 2 and 3, you implement the quick wins. Fix those weak CTAs, add the trust signals we just talked about. And finally, in week 4, you start testing and optimizing, letting the data guide what you do next. And the most important thing to remember here is that your goal isn't perfection overnight. It's about starting a process of continuous improvement. Small, consistent changes week after week are what will lead to massive results over time. I think this quote just captures the exact mindset shift you need to have. Stop seeing your website as just another cost. Start treating it like your hardest working employee, one that never sleeps, never complains, and can serve thousands of customers all at once. So, we'll end with this thought. Given the huge amount of potential revenue that's on the table, the real question isn't, can I afford to fix my website? The real question is, can I afford not to? Thanks for tuning in.